Alright, guys, welcome to the wildest story I've ever lived. Grab a snack, because this one's a roller coaster. It all kicked off with a late night Tinder scroll. You know the vibe to a, half dead from work, swiping through blurry selfies and dog mom bios, hoping for a spark. Then I saw her, Lena, blonde hair cascading over her shoulders, green eyes that practically glowed, this sly little smile that screamed trouble in the best way. Her bio. Horror movie junkie, spice enthusiast, and probably better at karaoke than you. I smirked, challenge accepted. I swiped right, heart pounding like a dumb teenager. Ding match. She messaged first, "Hey, you look like you'd survive a zombie apocalypse." True or false? I laughed out loud, typed back, "True, but only if I've got a badass partner like you." She fired back with a winking emoji and a quip about my profile pic, a goofy shot of me at the beach. We clicked instantly. Ours melted away. Texts about favorite movies she loved. Scream, "I'm a The Thing guy." Weird food combos. Stupid stuff we did as kids. I was grinning like an idiot. After a few days, I manned up and asked her out. Italian place downtown, Friday. She said yes, and I was buzzing. Date night rolled around, and I got there early, fidgeting with the menu, palms sweaty. Then she walked in. Holy hell, the photos didn't even come close. She had this vibe, confident, almost electric. A flowy red dress hugged her frame, heels clicking like a movie soundtrack, blonde hair catching the light. Her voice was soft but smoky, like she'd just finished a late-night jazz set. "Hey, stranger," she said, sliding into the booth. I melted. We talked for hours debating pineapple on pizza. She's pro. I'm anti, swapping stories about dumb exes, laughing until the waiter gave us the wrap-it-up glare. She leaned in close at one point, her perfume hitting me like a wave, and said, "You're funnier than I expected." I blushed, blushing. When we left, she kissed my cheek, her lips lingering just long enough to fry my brain. "See you soon," she whispered. I floated home, replaying it all. 2 weeks flew by, dates piled up like a highlight reel. Coffee runs where she'd steal my latte foam, walks where we dodge puddles and talk about nothing. A movie night at her place with popcorn and her head on my shoulder. She liked me, I could feel it. The way she nudged me playfully. The goodnight texts with little heart emojis. I thought, is this what people mean by soulmates? It felt real. Too real, maybe? But here's the kicker, I had no idea what was waiting around the corner. So, 2 weeks in, Lena was my world. I'd wake up to her texts, "Morning, loser," "Dream of me," and grin like a fool. We'd send memes back and forth, argue over who'd win in a zombie fight she swore she'd outlast me, and plan these random dates that felt like adventures. She'd pick the coolest spots, a dive bar with sticky floors and neon signs buzzing, a quiet park where we'd sit on a creaky bench, watching ducks fight over breadcrumbs I'd brought. She was different, none of that shallow "so, what's your job?" crap. She'd ask stuff like, "What's the one thing you'd do if the world ended tomorrow?" It was deep, intense, and I was all in. But little things started creeping in. She'd dodge questions about her past like a pro. I'd say, "Where'd you grow up?" And she'd flash that grin. "Oh, some nowhere town." Total snooze. "What about you?" I'd spill my boring suburb story, and she'd nod, steering us back to safe ground. I figured she was just private, maybe a rough childhood, who knows? Then there were her hands. Big, long fingers, nails always painted but chipped at the edges. I'd catch her fidgeting with them, like she didn't want me staring too long. And her voice, it'd dip sometimes, get this husky edge when she was tired or tipsy. I'd tease her, "You sound like a lounge singer," and she'd laugh, but her eyes would flicker. I thought it was sexy, honestly. One night, we were at her place, sprawled on her lumpy couch watching Friday the 13th. She'd made tacos, spicy as hell, her specialty, and we were a mess, laughing. Salsa on our shirts. I got up for a drink, weaving through her tiny kitchen. That's when I saw it, an old photo magneted to her fridge. Her, but younger, short, messy hair, baggy hoodie, standing by a lake with a fishing pole. She looked different, boyish, maybe? I called out, "Yo, Lena, is this you?" Little angler phase. She bolted over, snatched it down. "Ancient history," she said, voice tight, shoving it in a drawer. Her smile was forced, eyes darting. "Let's finish the movie." I shrugged it off. People hate old pics, right? Another time, we were at this grungy bar. She loved pool tables, cheap beer, sticky air. She was beating me at darts, trash talking like a champ, when this guy walked by. Older, scruffy, carrying a pitcher. He stopped, squinted at her. "Lee, that you?" She froze, mid-throw. "Wrong person," she snapped, her dart missing the board by a mile. She grabbed my arm, let's get air, and dragged me outside. Her grip was iron. I laughed. Who's She brushed it off. Some creep, ignore him. But her hands shook, lighting a cigarette she didn't even smoke. I let it go, but that name stuck with me. That night, alone, I couldn't sleep. The photo, the guy, her dodgeball moves with questions, it was piling up. I told myself I was paranoid. She liked me, she'd rest her head on my chest during movies, text me goofy selfies with filters. What could be off? But deep down, I knew something was brewing. And I was right, shit was about to get real. By week 3, Lena had me wrapped around her finger. I'd catch myself smiling at nothing, replaying her laugh in my head, sharp, bright, like she owned every room. She'd text me random stuff, saw a dog in a hat, thought of you, and I'd be a goner. But that itch, that nagging little buzz in my skull, it was louder now. You know that feeling when everything's too good, like you're in a movie waiting for the jump scare. That was me, every damn day. It wasn't just the past dodging anymore. She'd never let me swing by her place to pick her up, always meet me at the spot. My roommate's a nutcase. I'd joke, what? They bite, she'd laugh. But it never reached her eyes. I hadn't even seen this roommate, no dishes in the sink, no extra shoes by her door. Was she lying? Then there was that coffee shop run-in. We were grabbing lattes, flirting over who'd pay, when this guy, tall, beard, biker vibe, stopped dead. Lee, he said, staring at her. Her face went blank. Wrong person, she barked, yanking me toward the exit. Her nails dug into my wrist. Outside, I grinned, old boyfriend. But she snapped, drop it. Her voice was ice. The guy watched us go, and I swear he smirked. One night, I caved. Call it curiosity, call it dumb. I stalked her socials. Her Insta was bare bones. Artsy shots of sunsets. Coffee cups, her in that red dress. No family, no tagged friends, just her. Then I found it, a throwback post, buried deep. Grainy pic, her by a campfire, short hair, oversized flannel. Caption, miss the old days. I zoomed in, something about her stance, her jaw. It matched that fridge photo. My brain itched. Was this a phase? A cousin? I saved the pic, feeling like a creep but too wired to stop. Next day, we hit this dusty record shop. She loved old rock blasting, shelves packed with warped covers. She was humming to Bo, swaying a little. When I grabbed a random album, The Man Who Sold the World, she flinched, just for a second. Good one, she muttered, turning away fast. I pressed, you a Bo fan? She nodded, but her hands trembled, picking up a Stones record. I chalked it up to caffeine jitters. The big one hit later that week. We were at her apartment, messing around, making dinner, spicy peppers everywhere, her teasing me for crying over the fumes. I bumped her arm, sleeve slid up, and there it was, a jagged scar, pale against her skin, snaking from wrist to elbow. Whoa, I said. What's that from? She yanked her sleeve down, eyes flashing. Old accident. No big deal. Her tone was sharp, final. I pushed stupidly. Come on, Lena. Tell me. Skateboard wipeout. Bar fight. She spun, knife still in hand, and glared. Drop it, okay. Just drop it. The air went heavy. She turned back to the cutting board, chopping harder, and I stood there, heart thudding. I walked home that night, rain soaking my hoodie, replaying her snap. That wasn't just private, that was fear. I didn't know her. Not her past, not her scars, not the least stuff. I liked her, God. I did, but I was chasing a shadow, and I couldn't unsee it anymore. After that kitchen blow-up, Lena acted like it never happened. Next morning, she texted, lunch today. My treat. Casual, flirty, same old Lena. But I wasn't the same. That scar, her dodgeball past, the leak eye, it was a knot I couldn't untie. I'd lie awake, replaying every date, every laugh, wondering what I'd missed. She'd cuddle up during movies, kiss me soft and slow, but now it felt off, like I was kissing a stranger. I needed answers, real ones. So, I went detective mode. Yeah, I know, shady as hell. I'd snagged her full name off a takeout receipt she'd left at my place. Lena Marie Voss. Started with Google basic stuff, a lockdown Facebook, some mentions in old charity run results. Nothing wild. Then I hit the deep web, well, not that deep, just page 10 of the search results. Found a blog post from some podunk town paper, dated 6 years back. Headline, Local Teen's Journey, from Liam to Lena. My chest tightened. The photo loaded slow, grainy, pixelated, but it was her. Short hair, baggy jeans, a shy smile by a pickup truck. Liam Voss. Lena Voss. Holy shit. I scrolled, hands shaking. Article said Liam came out at 16, transitioned at 19, hormones, surgery, the works. Moved away after, started fresh. I leaned back, brain on fire. The husky voice when she was tired, the scar surgery maybe. The way she'd adjust her hair, dodge old stories. She was transgender. My Tinder girl, the one I'd been falling for, used to be a guy. I didn't know what to think. Shock, yeah, but anger too. She hadn't lied outright, but wasn't this the kind of thing you tell someone? I met my buddy Jake there, spilled it all. He shrugged. Bro, she's still hot, right? What's the problem? I glared. It's not about that. It's trust. He didn't get it. I barely got it. I liked her sarcasm, her warmth, but this flipped everything. I dug more that night, found an old YouTube clip, some school talent show, Liam strumming a guitar, voice cracking. Same green eyes. I slammed my laptop shut, head spinning. I couldn't wait. Texted her. We need to talk, now. She replied, come over, please. I walked the 6 blocks, soaked, heart hammering. She opened the door, blonde hair messy, eyes red, like she'd been crying. I didn't sit, just stood there, dripping. Lena, I said, voice low, who are you? Really? She sank onto the couch, hands twisting. You found out, didn't you? I nodded. She took a shaky breath. I was gonna tell you. After the movie night I had it planned. I couldn't. She spilled it. Growing up as Liam, hating the mirror, the fights with her dad who'd scream she was broken. Transitioning saved her, she said. But it left ghosts. I liked you, she whispered. So much. I thought you'd run if you knew. Her voice broke, and I stood there, rain pooling at my feet, feeling gutted. Why didn't you trust me? I asked. She looked up, tears spilling. Because everyone leaves. I turned and walked out, her words ringing. I didn't know what I felt. Betrayed, sad, lost. The truth was out, but now what? Walking out of Lena's place that night, the rain felt like it was washing me away. Her voice, everyone leaves, stuck in my skull, looping like a broken record. I wandered for hours, streets blurry, shoes squelching, trying to sort the mess in my head. I'd liked her hell. I'd been halfway to love. Those green eyes, the way she'd poke my ribs and call me out on my bullshit. But now, it was like I'd been dating two people, Lena and the shadow of Liam, and I didn't know either of them. Days dragged. I'd scroll out chat-stum memes, her teasing me about my burnt toast pics, late-night what-if talks. I'd stare at that fridge photo I'd snapped, short-haired kid by a lake, fishing pole in hand. That was her once, Liam. I couldn't hate it, but I couldn't square it either. I felt tricked, but had she tricked me? She never said I was always Lena, just let me assume. Was that a lie, or me being blind? I'd replay our kisses, soft, real, her hands in my hair, and wonder if it mattered. I met Jake again, needing to vent. He leaned back, smirking. Dude, she's still the same chick, right? Tits don't lie. I snapped to shut up. Man, it's not that. He frowned, rare serious mode. Then what? You mad she didn't spill her life story week 1? I stared at my drink. I'm mad she didn't trust me. He nodded, slow. Fair. But you ghosting her now, that's trust too, huh? I left the bar pissed, his words gnawing at me. I wrote it out: pros, cons, feelings. Pros, she made me laugh. Made me feel seen, lit up every room. Cons, the secret, the wall she'd built. Feelings, a tangle hurt, yeah, but longing to. I missed her voice, her stupid taco nights, the way she'd hum bow off key. I kept seeing her face that night, tear streaked, scared. Everyone leaves. Was I just another one? I grabbed my phone, hesitated, then called. Hey, I said when she picked up. Can we talk? Her breath hitched. Yeah. She sat across from me, hair tucked behind her ears, hands fidgeting with a napkin. I looked older, 2 bags under my eyes, and shaved. I was messed up, I started. Finding out like that, it hit hard. She nodded, eyes down. I should have told you. After date 3, I almost did. But you looked at me like I was perfect. I didn't want to ruin it. Her voice cracked. I swallowed. I liked you, Lena. Still do. But I needed the real you. She met my gaze, tears brimming. This is me. Liam's just the kid I buried. We talked messy. She told me about the surgeries, the hate mail from her hometown, how she'd built Lena from scratch. I told her how lost I'd felt, how I hated the not knowing. Where do we go? I asked. She smiled, small, fragile. Up to you. I'm here if you are. I reached across, took her hand. It trembled, but it was warm. I don't know if we'll make it. Maybe we'll rebuild, brick by brick, on truth this time. Maybe we'll drift. But swiping right on her. No regrets. She shook my world, Lena, Liam, all of it, and I'm better for it.